The safest way to go four-wheeling is to go with a friend or in a group. That can be a club, a commercial event, or just a meetup group. That provides an element of safety that you can't get otherwise. If you get stuck, lost, or have a mechanical breakdown or some other issue like a medical problem, having somebody there with you is a great way to go. On this edition of Jeep 411, we're launching a new series that is intended for new Jeepers. So stay tuned and watch while Bill and Wendy Stevens and I discuss different aspects of going four-wheeling, either by yourself or in a group. Stay tuned. Okay, I'd like to welcome Wendy Stevens. She's going to talk a little bit about how you should go wheeling and how important it is to go out in a group. Wendy, thanks for joining us, and go ahead and fill us in on your perspective on this.
Thank you, Don. So just wanted to cover a couple of things with being new to Jeeping. Maybe you're deciding to get out of that passenger seat and you want to actually drive. So one of the first things I would say is to never go alone. I think it's important to Jeep with somebody else. You get yourself in trouble, you get someone to help you out. The other issue is, how about learning? You get a chance to see what other people are doing. So going with a buddy, with another friend, somebody, maybe a group, maybe a club that you belong to, those are all good, sound ideas and suggestions for starting off brand new Jeeping.
So I'm going to give you a counterpoint to that, because what Wendy said is 100% correct. That is absolutely the best way to go four-wheeling. Especially if you're new. But even if you're not new, because you can have a breakdown, you can have a medical issue, all kinds of things, so you really need to be prepared for that. But there are other options, other alternatives. I know from the Jeep 4x4 school, a lot of our first-time students aren't really interested in joining clubs or going to the big events where you've got 20 Jeeps on a run that would normally take you 3 hours, but it takes 6 because there's so many vehicles. So a lot of people don't like to do that. If you're new to Jeeping, you may not have a friend that has a Jeep and you want to go out and enjoy the backcountry, or they may not be available even if they have one. So a lot of times it's easier to go out on your own, but you need to take some precautions to do that. And the cheapest and simplest thing you can do is to file a flight plan. Call a friend or somebody that you can count on, that you tell them where you're going and you give them a time and leave yourself a couple hours of slack when you're going to return, and then you check in with them when you're back to civilization. One of the best ways to make sure you have communications is with a ham radio license. Having said that, there are other radios you can use for communication, like a dual band that has race radio channels that are not do not require a ham license. We use those in the school all the time. A lot of people use them and they're really inexpensive. You can get a nice Retevis radio for about $40 or less on Amazon. Another thing, a little more expensive, but if you have possible medical issues, one of the great things to do is use the Spot satellite messenger or the Garmin InReach device, which allows you to communicate via satellite. So if you get lost, and there's all kinds of other little systems they have in there, but if you get lost or stuck or have a medical issue, you can call for help. And they have some insurance programs that have helicopter or medevac insurance that will find you based on your GPS location and come and literally rescue you, and it could be a lifesaver. That's actually something that's worth carrying even if you're in a group, because if you have a serious medical issue, that's really important. But like Wendy said, going out in a group is still the best way to go. Wendy, do you have any comments?
Well, I actually like your flight plan. I think that's something you should do even if you're going to go out with a buddy, and let somebody know that the two of you are out together. I mean, what if there's a problem both ways?
Good point.
I think that's actually not a bad idea to do anyway, and I'll be adding that to my list of what to do if you're new to Jeeping. So thank you for that suggestion.
Absolutely. And just so you guys know, Wendy is doing a segment on most episodes of the Jeep Talk Show, which airs on Fridays. It comes out every Friday. And she's doing a segment for newcomers to Jeeping called
Newbie Nuggets.
And they're really good. So listen to those. That's kind of backs up what we're talking about here.
Exactly.
A good friend of ours, Tony Muckleroy, who has been out to Big Bear. He's actually in Texas, but he's been out to Big Bear wheeling with us. He's the host of the show and does a great job. So that's something worth checking into. So.
it's a lot of fun, and you get to learn something too. So whether you're new or you're experienced, it's a great show to tune into. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
yeah.
So there's a couple of tips for you to pay attention to. Yeah. Thanks for watching this episode of Jeep 411. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.